Welcome back to In The Slant. Today I'm joined by Dustin. I'm joined by Alex. Today we'll be without Jared, unfortunately, for this jam-packed episode. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like if this one. Of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. How are we feeling today, boys? Free agency is here. I'm super ecstatic with all the moves we're seeing so far.
I'm unsure. I don't have any doubt that we couldn't make playoffs, but I don't have high hopes that we're gonna make playoffs either. So I'm in the middle.
I'm feeling good. I like how teams are making moves quick. Obviously they're trying to build something to go chase a ring, and that's the whole point of the game. So
we're
it's only
definitely
two,
gonna be
only
talking
2 days
about an
in.
interesting trade that happened between mine and Alex's team today. So.
Only 2 days in, and things are happening. So
Bang,
the way
bang.
we're gonna go about things today, instead of just talking about all the big things that have happened, we're gonna go over every single team's moves. We're not gonna spend a ton of time on certain teams, obviously, but the teams have made big moves, and we're gonna grade everybody's offseason thus far, from the DJ Moore to that first round pick being traded away, or the first overall pick, I should say, to now what was the last signing? Like James Bradbury, I think, is the last signing we got before we started recording this. Obviously,
at least the last big one.
yeah, last big one. So we're going to be going over this. We're going to give every team a grade. So let's go ahead and get started with the AFC East. We got the Buffalo Bills, who signed Connor McGovern in free agency, offensive guard, re-signed Tyler. I don't know how to say that last name. A linebacker. They got Matt Milano back. That's huge. Obviously, lost to Romaine Edmonds, so they definitely needed to keep some linebacker depth there. And then they got Sam Martin. So nothing too crazy. I mean, got offensive line help for Josh Allen. For me, probably like a solid C+. Obviously, the season isn't, or this offseason isn't over yet, so we're just grading on what we've seen so far. So
yeah, I would probably say for me, I mean, because obviously the other ones are just re-signed so far.
I'll go B, actually. I'm not going to go
I would say like B- or like C+. Like nothing terrible right now, but I hope that the Buffalo Bills do make a couple more solid additions to make their team a little bit more.
Which I think they will.
Yeah, they definitely should.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C+. I do like the offensive guard help. They haven't really made any big moves. I don't see Buffalo trading a lot of players away. I mean, if they just get a couple more like pieces together, like internally, not externally, like other players, they could make a big playoff run. So like you've seen Stephon Diggs, talk about like why can't we win, and
yeah, they disappointed last year so badly.
It's crazy. It's on paper they just look just phenomenal.
Well, Buffalo Bills, let me reassure you guys something. You guys would definitely be in playoffs. So
no doubt.
And I like Matt Milano a lot. He's a great linebacker.
Yeah, that's huge keeping
good
him.
Piece right there.
Miami Dolphins, they got Mike White on a 2-year deal. Very solid backup quarterback, especially with Tua, going down sometimes. You got Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson back, so it looks like the Dolphins are going to continue with that split running back duo. You got David Long, which I think is a pretty underrated addition. And, of course, the big one, they acquired Jalen Ramsey for a third-round pick and Hunter Long. So, Ramsey, we all thought he would maybe go for a lot more than that. And
I said Tennessee Titans.
But, yeah, Jalen Ramsey only for a third-round pick. How surprised are you guys by that?
Honestly, it's not like I'm very, I don't think he's the best cornerback in the league, like, right now. Like, I'm not saying he's not one of the best. Like, he's definitely the biggest name, don't get me wrong. Like, biggest name out there is definitely Jalen Ramsey, but, like, stats-wise, he was definitely not the best cornerback last year.
Yeah, last year was a little disappointing. But still, the name just, I don't know. I thought it'd carry much more weight than just a third-round pick. And I feel like
people say that he brings drama, which I don't really agree, because I wanted him bad. Like, I wanted the Raiders to trade for him. Definitely. Like, a guy like him on the team would have been huge. So
he's cut from a whole different cloth. Yeah. So he's going to be a very misunderstood football player. But I still think Jalen Ramsey's one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best. I mean, last year was a little bit shaky. I would never disrespect Jalen Ramsey's game. But the Dolphins, once again, are looking nasty. Stay healthy. Man, the sky's the limit with them, bro.
Offseason so far.
Disrespected him?
No, I'm not saying you disrespected him. I'm saying just like in general. I would never like say Jalen Ramsey's trash even off like after an off year. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying no.
Offseason so far for me.
But I thought at least like a second round pick for Jalen Ramsey. But honestly, for Miami, this is huge. Mike White is definitely a solid backup for them if Tua goes down. The duo running back core is definitely solid that they have. So
it's essential for the league.
Yeah, and they honestly got them for 2 pretty good deals too. Yeah. So like that's huge. David Long definitely a solid. Like honestly, this is like A
offseason so far. Literally. Getting Ramsey for a third is insane.
Yeah.
Now you have Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. That's pretty nasty.
Especially after losing Jones too, like to pick up Jalen Ramsey. That's huge.
I'm gonna go probably about an A, B+ for sure. And Mike White is a great backup. I mean, a little more reliable right now than Teddy Bridgewater. Not that I don't like Teddy Bridgewater. Just getting older. Gets hurt a lot, it's just iffy. So
speaking of backup quarterbacks, Andy Dalton has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. So
wow.
Next team though. So we all said A for the Dolphins. Patriots. They haven't done anything crazy. They just lost Jacoby Myers, which I think is huge. Which we'll talk about him a little bit later. They got one of their offensive guards back with James Ferentz, if I'm saying that name correctly. Calvin Anderson, and the big one is re-signing Jonathan Jones. I mean, nothing
Dude,
crazy.
that was a steal, Loki. That was a good deal.
Yeah, 2-year, $20 million is not bad at all. So.
Nice little weapon for
B-
you.
for me, nothing crazy. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard to just give teams F because or go D because they haven't done anything, unless they need to do something super, they need to go out there and do something right now. So Patriots, I mean, it's early, but I'm gonna go C+.
Exactly.
Yeah. I try not to agree with entirely with everything, but a C, a good C for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
nothing crazy going on.
Yeah,
here.
nothing crazy right now. Definitely right now a C, but. Jonathan Jones, good deal. That to me, that deal alone is an A, but everything else is just whatever to me. So
Correct.
that's why it brings down that grade. But Jonathan Jones, I'm I'm sure your Patriots fans are happy that you guys locked him up.
New York Jets. We gotta. I mean, the Jets. They're incomplete right now. It's an incomplete offseason, obviously, as we know. Aaron Rodgers today released a wish list for the Jets. But so far, they have signed Quincy Williams. They traded for Chuck Clark from the Baltimore Ravens for a 7th-round pick, re-signed Greg Zuerlein. And then, of course, we all know Rodgers told them that, hey, I want Allen Lazard, I want Mercedes Lewis, I want Randall Cobb, and I want Odell Beckham, which was the last one. So Allen Lazard, obviously, first one checked off the list. So I would assume with that, Aaron Rodgers will just eventually he'll be a Jet. It's just a matter of time.
Let me just grade this real quick, and let me just go through this. Allen Lazard, as long as they keep Garrett Wilson and some crazy stuff doesn't happen, which they definitely should. Then this is a good Allen.
Dustin, tell the people why you think Garrett Wilson would be moved.
Listen, everyone, tomorrow check out the Pat McAfee show, 1 p.m. when Aaron Rodgers comes on the show, and he tells everyone on live that Garrett Wilson's a great wide receiver, but they need to trade him for Devontae Adams. And, it's just
crazy.
And I just say,
so
Aaron Rodgers is a diva. You know how he is. He's like Josh McDaniels on bringing Patriots to the Raiders. That's how Aaron Rodgers
That would be the dumbest thing for the Jets to do.
Hey, I'd be hyped. Listen, that's all I got to say. But, I mean, so far this offseason for them, I would honestly grade. It's pretty good. I mean, Allen Lazard, even if, it's just Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, that's still a nice 1-2 duo. And, then you can decide who you guys want your 3 to be. You have Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Mims. There's a lot of guys you can decide who can be your 3, but I like that 1-2 duo for them. And then Quincy Williams is a stud. I wanted us to draft him so bad that year that he got drafted, but he got drafted 1 pick before us, and then
don't be confused with Quinnen Williams.
Huh?
Quinnen? Are you talking about Quinnen Williams?
Oh no!
Yeah, this is only Quincy Williams.
Quinnen Williams.
I know you were. I know how much you love Quinnen Williams, so that's why
he's fired.
I knew you
were
talking about Quinnen.
He's about to get an extension. That's why I was thinking that. My bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a B.
Yeah, Quincy Williams is good too. So yeah,
it's a B, but it's incomplete.
Yeah.
Once they get Aaron Rodgers, it's an A+. So
and once you guys,
and if they get Odell as well, that's pretty good too.
I just can't. Honestly, I just can't see that.
So what do they do? Just trade do they just trade Elijah Moore away, Corey Davis, Mims? What's the point of having that? That's just a waste of talent.
Yeah, we'll see some more wide receivers moved. Obviously, I mean the Jets aren't going to have that much depth unless they really plan on keeping that, but I highly doubt it. So that is the AFC East wrapped up. The AFC North,
so what do you guys grade it?
I said B.
B
for the Jets.
I mean,
incomplete though.
Yeah, Chuck Clark getting picked up too. That's solid. Very solid.
AFC North hasn't made a ton of noise. We got Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. Obviously, the only thing they've done is give Lamar the exclusive non-franchise tag. So that remains. That's an incomplete. So there's really nothing we can grade on the Ravens. The only thing we can say is they've lost people like Ben Powers. They lost Josh Oliver, and there's another name I'm not thinking of that they've lost as well. The Bengals, the only thing they've done is re-sign Jermaine Pratt. There has been some rumors about them potentially releasing Joe Mixon. I don't know how true those were.
That's just insane.
And whatever's going on with that little incident.
So it's hard to grade when they've only done one thing. So getting Jermaine Pratt, B, obviously. Lamar, we can't grade the Ravens. They haven't done anything. Maybe we should be giving them a C or a D because they haven't done anything because they need to do something. I don't know. But it's still early, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, just so far with those two teams, there's just really not much to say.
I feel like the Ravens should be aggressive right now. If they, I understand they're trying to play the waiting game with Lamar Jackson.
I mean, just the whole AFC North hasn't really made that many deals yet.
You think about the Bengals. What do they really got to do right now? They made it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, the Bengals are good, in a good spot.
I mean, they got a solid squad. There's not much
if they
got to
get rid
do
of
right
Joe
now.
Mixon, they need to do something.
They'll find something.
They'll trade T. Higgins eventually. No, I'm just kidding.
Man,
Oh,
trade him to the
yeah,
Giants.
Cleveland Browns, they've got Ethan Pochich, signed Dalvin Tomlinson.
I don't know. He's old though.
I mean, still
4 years though. That's a long commitment.
Yeah, that is pretty long. And you got Edge with Obo. I don't know how to say that last name, but yeah, signed 3-year, $19 million deal with the Browns. So
I grade this probably like
C plus.
yeah,
Nothing crazy.
I'll probably say like a B minus. I do like I at least like Dalvin Tomlinson for this year and stuff like that. So I give it like a B minus.
It's solid. I agree.
Steelers have only signed Patrick Peterson to a 2-year deal. They lost Cameron Sutton though, so that kind of sucks for them. And then they got Nate Herberg as a offensive guard. So.
I'm sorry, Steelers. I don't know. I mean, I know that I guess he kind of said that he didn't really want to be on the team, but you guys should have done everything in your power to not let that man walk. That dude's a stud. But
yeah,
I mean, I did hear stuff that he didn't want to stay there. So
I'm gonna go C because I think Peterson is kind of old. But I mean, he still was okay last year.
Yeah, he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's people just Twitter man trolls. He's washed. He's washed. He's not necessarily
I'm giving
washed.
this a C.
Yeah,
I'll give it a C. They're not doing much right now. So
Texans are going crazy.
Yeah.
They signed Case Keenum to a backup deal.
Well, actually, you gotta bring up that we're in the AFC South now.
AFC South, because AFC North didn't do too much, so we're on to the AFC South. They got Case Keenum, got Noah Brown from the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys fans are very fond of him, obviously, from all the fumbles he had. Then you have the big fumble against the Jaguars, and then he had like another one against in the playoff game, right? Against who'd they lose to again? Why am I blanking on who the Cowboys lost in the playoffs? 49ers. Didn't he have a big fumble?
I believe he did. Usually when the Cowboys are playing.
It's so long ago, though. I can't remember. But Robert Woods.
He's still solid.
He's solid.
But like, he's still a pretty solid receiver.
Robert Woods signs with the Texans as well. They got Andrew Beck. They acquired Shaq Mason, who is a very solid guard. They got a center in Scott Quessenberry, edge Chase Winovich, Hassan Ridgeway as a D-line, and Stewart as a safety, and then Jimmy Ward. Honestly, pretty solid additions for Houston. It's not like anything insane, but you got like quite a few veterans coming to the team that's going to put this team on paper to bring in a young quarterback and have plenty of veterans around him that can help them, develop in the league. So I actually like this offseason for the Texans.
There's a couple signings I like that the Texans did. There's also a couple of signings I don't like. Like, honestly, I do not like Robert Woods. I'm sorry.
Why?
He just didn't perform, bro.
Well, he didn't perform. He didn't have anybody throwing him the football either.
He did for a little bit.
Man, I'm still high on Robert Woods. He was going off before he tore his ACL.
Well, I get what you're saying, Dustin. Yeah. He definitely was disappointing in Tennessee, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like the Tennessee's passing attack in general was disappointing.
It's not. It's just.
But Shaq Mason, like, that's huge.
Yeah, I
Case
like that.
Keenum's a solid backup. I mean, you hope you don't have to go into Case Keenum, but. Yeah.
It's like, who do you think they're going to pick up in the draft?
It's either going to be Stroud or Bryce Young, whoever falls to them.
Listen, this is all I got to say.
That's why they're getting these weapons.
Is if somehow Anthony Richardson or if Will Levis them get picked at 2, every team is trading up to 3. Like, if the Raiders ain't trading up to 3, like if Bryce Young or CJ Stroud fall to 3, I better be seeing the Raiders trading up everything to go to 3 to get him.
A couple impending things that can happen for the Texans, though, is also trading Laramie Tunsil, who is looking for a new contract. And then Brandon Cooks, of course, is still out there. If he definitely could be traded this offseason as well.
But I read this like a solid like C+.
I like this. This is a B for me. B plus offseason so far for the Texans. I really like what they're laying. They're laying out a foundation, like I said, to bring in a young quarterback, to have plenty of veterans around him to help him develop. So I actually like this offseason thus far.
I'm going to go B, and D'Amico Ryan I heard he's that guy, so we'll find out. Their head coach is going to be solid.
Indianapolis Colts, edge Tyquan Lewis on a 1-year deal, EJ Speed, and Matt Gay. So I like the kicker they got. Matt Gay's a pretty good kicker, but other than that, nothing too crazy for the Colts. The big move will be coming in the draft when they draft a quarterback. They did just trade Stephon Gilmore as well. So the Colts, obviously, I mean, nothing really great here. They didn't do too much. I mean, C+, nothing really to talk about here. I mean, the Colts haven't done too much other than trade Stephon Gilmore. We'll wait for them to sign somebody else. Anything else to say about the Colts? What do you got, like C+?
I give them a C. Nothing crazy right now.
Jacksonville Jaguars. C.J. Beathard resigned to a 2-year deal. Tight end Evan Ingram resigned to a non-exclusive franchise tag. Love that for them. They got Roy Robertson Harris and got Andrew Wingard back on a 3-year deal. So, again, Jaguars, obviously they're keeping Evan Ingram around, which we saw the franchise tag for him a long time ago. he was phenomenal for them, and I really like that he reinvented his career. Obviously,
Yeah.
in New York, he was kind of dropping balls, so a lot of people had a bad stigma about him. But glad to see he reinvented himself in Jacksonville, and hopefully he'll get a big payday maybe this season before the season starts or next year if he has to play on the franchise tag. So Jaguars, solid offseason so far. Nothing crazy. I'll go B.
Yeah, so far, I mean, they did super good last year. I mean, all you gotta do is kind of keep on adding on to that a little bit, and you can see this team. I mean, again in playoffs. So
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a C plus. They're looking pretty solid.
yeah, I do still want to see a little bit bigger additions for the Jags before.
We
I
got to
don't
remember, though, they spent a lot of their money last year.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tennessee Titans, you got Andre Dillard, so pretty solid tackle to bring in. Azeez Al-Shaair, I think that's a really good addition
Yeah.
as well. And then you got long snapper Morgan Cox, so can't really grade a long snapper. But Azeez Al-Shaair and Andre Dillard, I love both those additions for Tennessee.
Honestly, so far these two additions, I give this like a B plus.
Yeah, B plus, a B plus for those two additions alone. Honestly, I love those two additions for the
I
Titans.
really don't know much about Morgan Cox. No disrespect to him, but there's other
Are you
two-
really supposed to know a lot about long snappers in the league? No
I don't
disrespect to
know.
long snappers,
Hey,
but
still getting that money.
That's true, but hey, shout out to the Tennessee
Well,
Titans so far. B plus move so far. solid.
What's crazy is all these rumors about Derrick Henry, and it's like,
yeah,
man.
I don't think it's happening anymore.
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
just-
like.
It's because, dude, you saw how
Such a
mad
run-heavy
the fan
offense.
base got.
Well, he's literally the
Dude.
identity of that roster.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
like,
literally, that's the only reason they were even
Run
in
the
talk
football.
last year. Yeah.
run the football.
we're going to the AFC West now. The Broncos have been pretty aggressive in free agency. They got Jarrett Stidham, former Las Vegas Raider. Of course, he had that legendary game, and you got Samaje Perine going to the Broncos, who was a really good backup
Yeah.
for the Bengals. Tight end Chris Manhertz. You got Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey, Zach Allen, and Alex Singleton. So the Broncos gave Mike McGlinchey a huge contract. They got Ben Powers, which is really solid. I actually like this offseason for the Broncos. You're bringing in some reinforcements. A lot of the offensive line issues were a apparent problem last year. So I like this offseason for the Broncos so far. I'm going to give it a B plus because so far, of course, they also traded for Sean Payton. They're doing everything they can to make that Russell Wilson trade they made happen, make it work out. So B plus offseason, getting that offensive line and protecting Russell Wilson.
Honestly, as an AFC West team or fan team, what do I call
A
it?
contender.
no.
Yeah, I mean a contender in your.
Basically, this being
division.
my rival. This is how I'm gonna
Yeah.
rate their offseason. They got our backup quarterback last year that did start towards the end of last year. He did show signs of greatness and then did show signs of being terrible. So he's definitely a solid backup. The offensive line moves are huge. Russell Wilson needed an O-line because sometimes even like he went from Seahawks having a terrible O-line to the Broncos, and their O-line did not get any better there. He was getting pretty mobbed out there, but even when he did have time, I feel like he wasn't doing good with it. So I don't know, but hopefully Sean Payton trying to make the best O-line he can to give Russell Wilson the most time he can to make a play.
Yeah. Honestly, I was really high on Russell Wilson, which
I was too. I wanted him in
yeah,
Washington.
I didn't really understand like the concept of all of it. And just I don't know if it's just internal things, the line obviously, but
There was some things that were said that were kind of going on with Russell Wilson that were kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
he apparently had an office with the coaches or
Yeah,
something like that.
his
on
own
this-
personal trainer.
Yeah,
That was funny
just
when
all
Sean
kinds of
Payton got
stuff.
in. He said, "Yeah, that's not happening."
Sounds like
anymore."
some buffoonery going on in Denver.
Yeah, just a little too much, Just
But
but
hey, Sean
I-
Payton came in and put his.
I'm gonna
foot
give it a
down.
B plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a B plus.
Now, if the Broncos suck next year, that's going to go to the round one. Well, it's already kind of one of the worst trades in history right now. But if they suck next year, it's definitely.
Actually, I want to say something publicly real
Hey.
quick. I was preaching that whole offseason that Russell Wilson wasn't nothing. Like I mean,
You
from the
did.
very beginning, like I was like,
And you preach Kyler Murray's not that guy either.
yeah, well, listen, and then he destroyed us, and then I was preaching him for a little bit. You know what I
But
mean?
yeah.
So
Kansas City Chiefs, they've lost both their tackles, but they replaced one of them with Jawan Taylor. They also got Jody Fortson on a tender, and then they got Deshaun Wharton. So getting Jawan Taylor's a solid addition. Apparently not bringing back Orlando Brown, and they lost Wiley as well to the Commanders. So B off season. I mean, I like the addition of Jawan Taylor at that offensive tackle spot. Protect Mahomes. It definitely sucks you lose both your tackles, but I'm
Yep.
sure they can replace one in the
Yeah.
draft, so they'll be all right.
Andy Reid and that front office will always figure it out. As long as you got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I'm not really ever worried about the Kansas City
Yeah,
Chiefs.
me either.
It's
so.
crazy, Dusto. You did say
Dustin last year was just preying on their downfall.
Bro,
He was
I
like, they're
know.
not doing nothing. They're about to be finished third in the AFC
when I
West.
watched the podcast when it first started, I was like, Dusto, come on, man.
Have you learned your lesson, Dustin?
Listen, I just want to make a public announcement. Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck Patrick Mahomes. I'm always praying on their downfall.
All right, Las Vegas Raiders.
I love what the Las Vegas Raiders are doing.
Alex,
honestly.
Read it off, Dustin. This is your
I'm
favorite.
not. No, I'm not.
All right,
I'm not.
let me
Dustin,
read
this
this
is your
off.
team.
Let me
Read it
read this
off.
All right, so we started
They're-
off the free agency with signing Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3 years, 72.75.
Why would you not like that addition?
Honestly, I do like it because
Okay.
at the point we really didn't have much quarterback options, and with us not being able to trade to the first round pick like we were trying to, or the first
Yeah,
overall
yeah.
pick like we were trying to, we just weren't really gonna get a quarterback. So I like signing Jimmy G. He kind of went for cheap too. I mean, Derek
Yeah,
Carr was
I mean-
getting like 35 a year, so I mean, we saved 10 mil just go to Jimmy G. So I do like it since he's a veteran, and even if we do decide to somehow get Anthony Richardson or like Will Levis, they still have to sit behind Jimmy G in my
Yeah.
opinion for a year.
And
so.
that's a good for a rookie to come in and to learn from Jimmy G, bro. Like Jimmy G learned from Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's like a chain effect. Like why would you not want to learn from a guy like that? Like
Don't sleep. Jimmy's won like 52 games as a starter, so.
yeah, and
he's won
listen,
4 playoff games and been to a Super Bowl.
Listen,
Yeah.
all I gotta say one thing too before we get into the more depth of it. If you're a Patriots player, just hit up Josh McDaniels because he loves you guys. So please. But so Amir Abdullah basically re-signed him. He's kind of just like a special teams player, but he's
He's
a good, solid special
Mhm.
teams player. Josh Jacobs, it's still iffy on what's going on with him because I know he wants an extension. I know he wants an actual contract, and it's obviously I haven't heard any talks about it going on yet. So, and I know he's upset about obviously Darren Waller being traded today. We'll get into that in a little bit, but then we signed Jacoby Myers to a 3-year, $33 million deal. I really didn't like it before the Darren Waller trade. But after Darren Waller trade went through, I kind of like this deal. He went for pretty cheap. He is pretty solid, and I mean, I'm assuming that we're gonna get rid of Hunter Renfrow soon, most likely. So we'll see about that. Brandon Parker, a guy on the offensive line that can play any position. He played right tackle, right guard. Like he's just a solid player that at least is good depth if he's not gonna be a starter next year. And probably the best signing, at least so far, besides like obviously Josh Jacobs franchise tag, is Marcus Epps. 2-year deal for $12 million. That's a super solid deal for us. Him with Trevor Morrig and safety is going to be honestly solid, and I hope he can teach our young safety and Trevor Morrig a few things.
Yeah, and you kept saying you wanted help on defense, and
Yeah.
you got it. I mean,
And
that's
and
a good
obviously
pickup.
like so it's not on here, but obviously we also signed Philip Dorsett. I don't know what the exact deal was. I'm assuming vet minimum. That's what he got paid last year was like vet minimum. So I assume Hunter Renfrow trades incoming. Obviously not promising it, but I can see it. And then the one thing we're going to talk about, which we're going to talk about more once we get to their side, but we did trade Darren Waller to the New York Giants for a 3rd-round pick. It's like literally pick 100. It kind of makes me salty, and a lot of fan bases
Same
are,
pick from the Kadarius Toney trade.
yeah, basically same pick from them. But I mean, Darren Waller wasn't very happy with McDaniels, but at the same time, we did give him a big contract, and he really hasn't been there for us. Like he wants to, like he's always focused on rapping, and then like he's injured.
I had no
serious.
idea he did that off the field.
Yeah, dude, he literally does. He would always focus on rapping when he got paid, or like then he's injured all the time when he does play. I'm like, so like I'm sad, and like yes, it could turn out to bite our asses, and like he could become a stud again, and the Giants have themselves a dog. But like,
Wait, Darren Waller be rapping?
yeah, he's really a rapper. I swear.
Oh, wow.
I love what the Raiders done so
Dude.
far.
Yeah, I honestly
it sounds
like it.
crazy. I'm gonna give him
I give him
an
an
A. Yeah.
I
You
love.
really give us an
Yes.
A?
I do
Wait, wait,
because
I give him an A.
Jimmy G was the best quarterback you guys could have gotten, and I assume you guys are going to be looking to draft a quarterback.
And
so
honestly, people were saying maybe say 20 or 72 mil for 3 years is too much, but like you see what
Yes.
quarterbacks are getting paid,
exactly,
like,
it's cheap money.
yeah.
And then honestly, I love Jacoby Myers. I think he was super.
Bro,
He was literally
yeah,
underrated last
I
year.
agree, bro.
Very good wide receiver.
I
Him
agree.
and Adams is a nasty duo. I know Jacoby Myers isn't a big name, but some people don't realize how good he is.
And
I
we
think
got
he's
him
really
just- and,
good.
like, you see,
Athletic. He's a
Yeah.
freak.
you see these receivers like Christian Kirk getting crazy deals,
He
and
lived
we
up
j-
to it.
but I mean, I don't. Yeah,
He played pretty
He
well.
did. He did.
well.
Give him his credit.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk.
But they also
was
have
a-
other studs too that there now. But Jacoby Myers for only like basically $10 million a year is a steal in my opinion. 'Cause
A
he's
offseason
like,
for me.
Yeah, he's a proven
and
receiver.
Something with Jimmy is like, say Daniel Jones did not play up to par and we got rid of him or whatever, and we picked up Jimmy G in a hypothetical sense. I'm like, that's a good pickup. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, honestly.
Yeah, like honestly,
So
I think
A
this
for
team,
sure.
like in my opinion, this team's not a Super Bowl team with Jimmy G, but this team I could easily see being.
It was your
in
best
playoffs.
option, so
Yeah.
that's
Good
why I
option.
like it. The Chargers go out and get Easton Stick, re-sign him, and they got Eric Kendricks, who was released by the Vikings. So the
Huge
Chargers have a
pickup.
pretty nasty linebacker
Yeah,
core. They
definitely.
got Eric Kendricks. There were some rumors about Mack being traded, but they restructured his contract, so he'll be back. You got Joey Bosa still. So if this team could just stay healthy, this team's gonna be
Yeah.
very good.
Mhm.
That was the concern last year, and hopefully they don't just
Yeah.
suck in the playoffs again and blow.
Herbert was banged up too, man.
Yeah.
Like, and pay credit where it's due. Like, even with his rib, right?
Yeah.
and he was still out there slinging the ball. Like, that is a painful
Skyler,
movement.
I said Skyler because I was thinking of it. when I was texting
Shout out
him.
Skyler, shout out Skyler.
Oh, I was texting him earlier, and I was thinking for some reason I was thinking of the Packers, and then I just said Skyler. But I'm about to
Oh,
also
I'm
say with
dead.
like the Chargers is like their linebacking crew like duo is just so good. Like honestly, they're probably one of the best in the league. And J.C. Jackson wasn't very healthy all last year. Like I mean, he was always dealing with. The whole team was
Yeah.
dealing with injuries, and like I thought they were the best team in the AFC West last year. Like that was my opinion. Like going into last year on paper, I thought they were the best team. Obviously, I was proven way wrong, but I think given
Jeez.
given less injuries,
Yeah.
the Chargers could definitely easily give the Chiefs a run for their money on first in division.
No, for sure.
I think you definitely still see Chargers Chiefs run the AFC West next year, but we'll
Yeah.
see what
Watch
happens.
out, Broncos coming for that title, bro.
Oh
What are we
my!
gonna grade it? What would you say?
I said B. I mean, you
B.
can really only grade it off the Kendrick signing,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
pretty solid. So
Probably.
we're on to the NFC East. The NFC East has made some moves today, starting with the Dallas Cowboys. Right before we started recording, as we know, they franchise tag Tony Pollard. They also re-signed Donovan Wilson today. But the big move before we start recording, Stephon Gilmore is going to the Cowboys in exchange for a 2023 fifth-round compensatory pick. So, yeah, it's a pretty nice addition for Dallas. It's a big name that Dallas never seems to get. I think Cowboys fans are very happy about that. Now you have a duo of Trevon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore. I'd be pretty hyped about that if I'm a
Yeah,
Cowboys
for sure.
fan, which I would never be, by the way. I'm just saying.
I would give this like a solid B plus, honestly, like a high B, almost A for me, but B plus.
Cowboys.
Still impending is Dalton Schultz. They need to figure out what they're going to do with
Yeah.
him at the tight end spot. I assume he'll be back, but you never know.
I will give it a B.
I'm going to go B
Um,
plus.
I do like. I mean, obviously, I pay credit where it's due. Tony Pollard, great asset, but Donovan Wilson is one of those safeties. Like, I truthfully wish played for the Giants. He can do it all, man, and he'll come down and hit. He will come down and hit. So, good job, Cowboys. But now you're in Jerry's world, so enjoy.
New York Giants. We all know what.
He's like, they're in Jerry's world now.
Stephon Gilmore and Trevon Diggs is nasty. I will
Yeah.
admit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
New York Giants. We know they gave Daniel Jones a 4-year, $160 million deal. Saquon Barkley on the franchise tag. Matt Breida re-signed. Sterling Shepard came back as well on a $1.3 million
Whoa,
deal.
why did you let in the fans?
Oh, yeah, my
No,
bad.
I mean, it's fine. I mean,
no,
okay.
I'm not gonna let him do it to you, Alex.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go.
You're
ahead
right,
and just-
Dustin. Thank you for calling me out on that.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. Obviously, a lot of people are in the works. Like, this ain't gonna work out. Da-da-dee, da-da-do. I've heard it all. It just, there's two scenarios. Either it works out or it don't. So, I mean, at this point, who else are we gonna pay? That's the main thing. So, I'm honestly okay with it. His development from last year was phenomenal. He's not even close to his ceiling yet. So,
Are we
hopefully
sure about that?
Man,
No, I don't know. You might be right.
I don't think he's hit his ceiling at all. I mean, honestly, look at his first 3 seasons. Look who his coaches were. He really
Yeah,
now
that's
he has
true.
Brian Daboll in his ear. So we'll see. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, we're about to go on a Super Bowl run," but hey, man, I did say last year we were gonna be decent. Everyone laughed in my face, and we won a playoff game. So Saquon Barkley,
Respect.
I'm not really happy that it's non-exclusive, just because he can still continue to shop with other teams. I want him there. Matt Breida, good backup. happy with it. Sterling Shepard, at least it's not a lot of money. I'm perfectly okay with him coming back. He was playing pretty decent last year. His ACL injury was a freak thing. If you go watch the video, he's literally just jogging.
Yeah,
Like, oh
I
my.
remember that too.
He's been loyal to the team. He was there after he got hurt. He was cheering on his team. That's what you want. That's who you want on your team. That's who you want in your organization. He's been loyal to the core. Darren Waller. Yes, I'm ecstatic about it. Dusto. I am very happy we got Darren Waller.
Can't believe we're just giving up on Daniel Bellinger. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Daniel Bellinger a lot. It's just obviously he's been hurt quite a bit, but just like Saquon, he's been hurt. It's just however the chips fall, you never know. Raheem Nunez Roches, I think I'm saying his last name right. I mean, it's another solid pickup, man. We need help in the interior. Jared Davis stepped up very much for us in the playoffs throughout the whole season as well. Bobby, I hope I'm saying his last name right.
Okereke. I love that signing for y'all.
If I believe right, in 2 seasons, he's had over like 150, 60 tackles.
Very solid linebacker.
Yeah, and I saw a clip of him today where he, it was the Jaguars, Travis Etienne. I think it was like a stretch play. This man just scraped, got downhill so fast, and just blew him up. Like, man, I love it.
I wanted my Commanders getting low key, so.
Yeah, and then re-signing the punter, solid punter. He had good numbers last year. I'm honestly happy with what we're doing. It's going to sound biased, but I'm going to go ahead and give it an A. I mean, Daniel Jones is honestly the most iffy one out of all of it.
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
be real. Daniel Jones is the one that I'm like, we'll see what happens. But, hey, who else are we going to get?
What you giving him, Dustin?
Listen, I just got a few things to talk about real quick. Darren Waller, definitely a good pickup as long as he can stay healthy and play for them. That's what it is for me. Is like if he stays healthy and plays, the Giants definitely win the trade. If he gets hurt or just doesn't live up to his expectation because of him just getting older, then we win the trade on that because obviously then we just save the money at that point. But these pickups have honestly been solid. Just expectations that you obvious. Like you obviously assumed Daniel Jones was gonna be back on the team. I mean, I don't know. People really didn't think they were. I don't know if that was rumors.
I think it's the
around.
money that people are surprised by.
But they gave it to him basically. Like,
I mean, they didn't really have a choice. It's either keep him or you don't have a quarterback.
But
so.
exactly. But I mean, he's a good player. So I don't know why people were even upset about it. I mean, they're the best quarterback option he's had in a while. I mean, you guys sat on him for this long. Like, if you guys were to give up on him, you guys should have given up on him like 2 years ago when he was just playing.
Well, terrible. I know the Giants GM. They asked him, like, did you envision Daniel Jones being back on the roster next year or something like that? And he said, well, I would have picked up his 5th-year option if I did. So he played great, and he got his bag. So I'm going to give it a B+ just because the Daniel Jones contract is a little questionable. But, again, I understand the position they were in. Like, so you really had to pay him or you were going to have no quarterback.
I'm giving it a B, solid B right now.
Hater. No,
I'm not being a hater.
The Cowboys also are bringing back Leighton Vander Esch, by the way. So that's another move the Cowboys made.
Sweet.
Philadelphia Eagles, they've lost quite a few players this offseason so far. But they've brought Rashad Penny in as a backup running back. Actually, isn't Miles Sanders a free agent? I'm pretty sure he is. So I don't know if that's the Miles Sanders replacement. Probably not.
Man, he's been tweeting some stuff too. So
Dalvin Cook will probably eventually be an Eagle or something crazy like that. I don't know.
I can see that.
Boston Scott is back. Jason Kelsey is back. Decided not to retire. Brandon Graham. I almost said Brandon Ingram. Shout out to the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram. And then James Bradbury is back with the Eagles, which is big for them.
New York Giant.
Yeah. Former Carolina Panther as well. So
and he should have been a Las Vegas Raider.
I'm going to give this offseason so far for the Eagles, and it's just so far based off what we've seen. I'm going to give it a C because they've lost a lot of depth and a lot of starters so far.
Like, dude, literally, if this list showed who was dropped and then who was gained, like,
and they still have quite a few free agents left available out there too. So, like, obviously, they could bring some guys back, but they've lost quite a bit.
I'm giving this honestly right now. I'm giving it a C-. They still need a lot. They still need to bring back in a lot. And just this alone, like, obviously the one I really love is obviously Bradbury. I really love them bringing him back. But other than that, these other guys are just not big names. And, I mean, they need more than just this to get back to where they were last year.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a C. It's good that they brought back some of them vets, but we'll see what happens.
Last NFC East.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I disrespected. Jason Kelsey and James Bradbury are the two I really like them bringing back. My bad.
100%.
And Brandon Graham. Come on.
Oh. Yeah, him too. Brandon Graham.
Bro. He's a beast.
Last NFC East team, my favorite team, the Washington Commanders. I was pretty surprised by the aggressiveness of the start of this offseason for us. It's not like we got anybody crazy. Got Andrew Wiley, who was a former Chiefs tackle. And I know he was one of the worst. He was the worst offensive lineman for the Chiefs, but he had a great Super Bowl. A lot of people are saying 3 year, $24 million is not terrible. And of course, Eric Bieniemy is now our offensive coordinator, so it makes all the sense in the world. We got Nick Gates from the Giants, who had a terrible injury, and he went through like 7 surgeries.
Nasty.
And now he's getting a payday, so shout out to him. Deron Payne, I absolutely love. We're able to lock him up on a 4-year deal. Absolutely love that. We got Cody Barton from the Seahawks, which is pretty solid. He's kind of exactly what we had last year with Cole Holcomb, so we'll see what happens there. David Mayo, not a guy that I'm a big fan of, but we brought him back. And then Cameron Dantzler, I love the flyer on him. Hopefully he can develop into something for us. He's still only 24. Vikings release him. And we got Danny Johnson, who's always just been kind of solid depth for us. So for me, I would probably go, if Deron Payne wasn't franchise tag, or if he wasn't extended, I'm probably going just like a C offseason. But I'm going to give it a B- simply because of the Deron Payne signing. Because last year or a couple years ago, we had the same situation with Brandon Sheriff, all-pro offensive guard. Franchise tagged him. Next year, he walked for nothing. So I thought it would be like the same scenario here where we got Deron. Well, I guess we got a third-round compensatory pick out of it, obviously. But I thought we'd do the same thing with Deron Payne, where we franchise tag him, let him play it out this year, and then we lose him for next year, or lose him next year for a compensatory pick or whatever. So for that alone, I'm going B-, C, I guess. But Deron Payne is the one that's kind of making it up. I'd love the depth at offensive line. None of these names are too crazy. I love the flyer on Cameron Dantzler, but we'll see what happens. That's my grade.
This is gonna be a shocker to everybody, but obviously, this whole team really just depends on how Sam Howell does, and we're hoping he does good. But this offseason so far, just based so far on what they added, this is a B+ for me, honestly. Like, it has to be. I like the offensive line help. If you're really gonna test Sam Howell out, the best way is giving him time in the pocket.
Yeah, our offensive line was horrible last year.
So, yeah. So adding those two big additions, like, even though I'm kind of sketched out about Andrew Wiley, because obviously him being a Chiefs player, I saw him a lot because obviously the Raiders played against him twice a year, and obviously a lot of times he kind of get ate up against us. So I am sketched about that, but I mean, hopefully he can turn up, and this new career or this new team can give him a refresh, and hopefully it can be good. And I do like Nick Gates a lot for that. So yeah,
it's gonna be tough for our O-line when he leaves. But we got some solid depth. But I'm gonna give it a B. Just Sam Howell. I really like Dusto said. It's gonna come down to Sam Howell, and he looked pretty decent. Was it the
week 18? Only one game.
One game, but you guys got the weapons.
Definitely have the weapons.
Like me and Brady talked about,
God, dude.
We talked about how the Sam Howell in college had no weapons, and that's why his draft capital.
He went to what?
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, and so he was. But Brady said that at one point he was like a first round prospect.
Yeah, he was.
And
at one point, he was a first round prospect and lost all of his weapons.
And that's another reason that people have been comparing. Another player we're gonna bring. I want to bring up real quick is Will Levis, because they said in Kentucky that all of his weapons left, and that's why he had a kind of a down year. So honestly, I think the top 3 quarterbacks in this year have to be probably, in my opinion, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, but people probably have different opinions on the top 2. But
yeah.
All right. Next is the NFC North.
Ooh.
Chicago Bears, of course, the team with the most cap space, made a lot of noise.
Made moves.
Let's start off with the trade that happened last week. DJ Moore was acquired in exchange for, or they traded the number 1 overall pick for number 9, 2023, or number 9 in 2023 second rounder, which is number 61 overall, a 2024 first rounder, and a 2025 second rounder. Of course, DJ Moore is also in the trade. So what a haul that the Bears got for that number 1 overall pick.
So since this was such a big move, before we grade the whole team's moves, I want you guys to grade this move just in particular.
A+. This is a W move. We've seen what premier wide receivers do for young quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I mean, what are some? Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, these premier Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. These premier wide receivers do so much for the development of young quarterbacks. I absolutely love the addition of DJ Moore. A lot of people don't realize how good DJ Moore really is.
Facts.
He was so down bad last year because of the quarterback situation. And a lot of people really underestimate how good DJ Moore is. So, love it.
DJ Moore's kind of like how you guys like say Jacoby Myers was. Because honestly, when I first heard about it, I was upset when I first woke up this morning. Just because we still had Darren Waller. I'm like, dude, there's just too many weapons. Like, we don't, like, yeah, it's good to have weapons, but like, we don't need this many to pay this many people. But trading Darren Waller made me feel better about Jacoby Myers, about how he's underrated. I feel like DJ Moore's that same way. Because, like, whenever DJ Moore did have a center playing good, like when there was a few weeks out of the season when they would actually play good, DJ Moore would always ball out when they were playing good. So like that's a huge like this is like for me this is like an A+ like for this haul for the Bears. I would have given them a worse grade because there's rumors about them getting rid of Fields. If they would have got rid of Fields, I literally would have given them like an F. Like I don't care what they would have done. I would have given them an F this year. Like literally, if they would have traded Justin Fields,
That'd been crazy.
So,
Love that trade, man. Love it.
A+ for
They
sure.
also brought in Nate Davis, offensive guard, get some protection for Justin Fields, DeMarcus Walker, and then they got 2 very, very solid linebackers for agency with Tremaine Edmonds and
Woo.
TJ Edwards.
Yeah, that's
I wanted
nasty.
Tremaine Edmonds so bad.
too.
So shout out to the Bears.
Me too.
I wanted him so
Hey,
badly.
listen, my favorite addition for this team is besides obviously DJ Moore in the trade, TJ Edwards. They got him first. People were saying he was going to get a huge bag. They got him for 3-year, $19.5 million. That is just a steal. That's one of my favorite free agency pickups so far. Like out of all of them, out of every team, is him for so cheap. That is, I wish the Raiders would have paid him $19.5 million.
For me, this is an A+ offseason
Yeah,
so
literally.
far.
Yeah,
Literally, and they're not
A+.
even done yet. They still have money to do.
They still have
some-
like 40 mil or something
Yeah,
like that.
so-
It's insane.
All right, let's try to fly through the rest of these. Detroit Lions, nothing too crazy. The only thing they've done that's pretty like standoutish is Cameron Sutton. We
Yep.
talked about how they stole him from the
And
Steelers.
that's huge.
Got Alex Anzalone back, and then re-signed a few depth guys. So Lions, I'll go B. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I feel
B.
like a lot of their team is just gonna be like you might see them make another big, 1 or 2 big more additions in veterans, but a lot of their pickups are gonna be in the draft, and you're gonna just see what kind of young studs they get from there.
In their other corner, Jerry Jacobs, number 39, played at Hutch CC, where I went to college my earlier days. But he's a solid corner, man. So
And
I
don't
mean,
forget you got Jeff.
Okuda.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so
Green Bay Packers, done nothing so far.
Besides re-signed
Re-signed Keyshawn Nixon, who was a pretty good special teamers for
Yeah.
them. So,
and us too when he played for us.
of course, they're probably going to be trading Rodgers, and then we'll see what they do after that. So
Tomorrow 1 p.m. Tune in.
I don't feel the need to grade Green Bay because they've literally done nothing. Minnesota, they resigned.
yeah, dude.
They re-signed Nick Mullins. They got Josh Oliver, solid blocking tight end. I think one of the best in the league. Got Garrett Bradbury, and then they got Marcus Davenport. I love
Solid
the addition of
pickup.
Davenport
Yep, me
from
too.
Minnesota.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Of course, yeah, B. They've released a bunch of veterans as well, so not sure what Minnesota's direction clearly is yet. I think they're
Yeah.
giving it like one more go.
Kirky get his extension?
No, they like restructured his contract or
okay.
something.
So
So-
overall, so for me, these additions is a B to me. But the overall Vikings roster, if I had to rank the Vikings roster compared to last year, it's like a C to me. Like they still need a bunch
And
of additions.
there's all these rumors about Dalvin Cook, and it's just
Yeah.
it's nuts. It's
But
nuts.
these additions, like if we're just basing it off these additions alone, it's definitely a B.
Yeah.
I like these additions.
Atlanta Falcons signed Taylor Heineke to a 2-year, $20 million
The best
deal.
quarterback in the league.
I'm gonna miss
dude.
him, man. I'm gonna miss him, but I'm glad he got his bag because he went from sleeping on his sister's couch, playing in the XFL, and now he's got a backup quarterback type money, which is awesome. And that's higher tier backup money. So
Yeah.
I love that for Heineke. I'm gonna miss him though. They get Chris Lindstrom back. They got Keith Smith back. Chris Lindstrom, it was huge to keep him. He's one of the better guards in the league. Got Jonnu Smith from the Titans. Arthur Smith will do anything not to use Kyle Pitts, apparently. I'm just kidding. But it's just like,
Imagine.
man. Like,
Maybe they just want some more
I wouldn't
depth.
be
Maybe try
surprised
some
at all.
healthy.
But trust me, I would not be surprised at all if Jonnu Smith is like getting all the targets at tight end for some reason.
I guarantee
I wouldn't
you
be
it
surprised at all if that
happens.
were to happen. You got Ed
Lorenzo
Lorenzo
Carter.
Carter resigning.
Former Giant.
They got a D lineman from the Saints and David. Got Caden Ellis. Jesse Bates was a big signing for them, brought in the safety. And then you got Bradley Pinion. So
Jesse Bates. I
Jesse
love.
Bates with freaking I'm blanking the corner.
David too.
AJ Terrell.
AJ
AJ
Terrell.
Terrell.
Yeah, I
They
love
got
that
a
for them.
Lockup
And
corner.
honestly, I'm giving this so far
A.
B.
I'm going A.
plus.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
go, oof.
Because even if Desmond Ritter ain't that good, we know what Tyler Heineke can bring to
You
the
can go in there
table.
and at least get a
I'll
win.
go. I'm gonna go B with it.
All
The
right.
offense is still,
So wait, so you said B, I said B plus. Brady said A on that.
I said
Okay.
A because re-signing Lindstrom and getting Jesse Bates is just awesome
Big,
for
yeah.
them. So, Carolina Panthers got Bradley Bozeman back, Shy Tuttle, and then Von Bell, and of
I
course,
like the Von Bell addition.
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, me too.
definitely.
Bengals lost both their safeties.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
obviously, the
they
big thing for the Panthers is the #1 overall pick. Of course, they traded DJ Moore, which I I'm okay with them going up and getting their quarterback, but I think they may have given up a little too much. I don't know.
Moore was just too much.
I
at
don't
that
know. So
point.
I'm gonna give this a C off season so far, just because like I do love them going up and saying, "Hey, we want to get our quarterback," but definitely sucks that the quarterback that comes in is not gonna have a ton of throw to when he comes in because you already traded McCaffrey. Who's their wide receivers now? Like
Dude.
Laviska Shenault and I don't even. I can't.
I don't
I'm
even
blanking
know.
on the other.
I'm gonna be real.
Terrence Marshall is the other
Yeah,
one. So
Marshall, yeah.
that's about it.
Let me handle this next team. Let me rank it or grade this. So far, I mean, obviously the first pick's gonna be huge. I'm hoping for the Carolina Panthers' sake, it is C.J. Stroud that they take. I just like him more as a prospect, in my personal opinion, and I do think the Panthers definitely have a lot of potential. But I mean, either way, they're either getting Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and that's gonna be huge for them. So.
Mhm.
But all right, so I'm giving it a C so far. But I can't wait to see the draft. After the draft rankings, that's when I really can't wait to see this.
You say you wanted to handle the Saints, Dustin?
Yeah, I do.
All right, that's because your boy's here, huh?
Yeah, they signed the best quarterback in the league. Derek Carr got signed to a 4-year deal, $150 million. That includes $60 million fully guaranteed. Honestly, Derek Carr is always usually team friendly on fully guaranteed. Like, I mean, you might say that's a little bit too high, 60 mil, but at a 150 mil contract, Derek Carr always usually goes pretty easy on the fully guaranteed contracts. And they got their starter for at least the next 4 years. That's definitely going to be solid. And right now in the NFC, they have nobody in that division to compete with Derek Carr. So Jameis Winston re-signing on a 1-year deal.
I'm surprised he stayed, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, me too. But I mean, where else would he go, really?
That's true.
You got Michael Thomas. This is huge too. Michael Thomas re-signing to it's obviously just a 1-year deal. But I mean, Michael Thomas is a beast. When
Man,
healthy.
stay healthy, bro.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking for.
Slant God.
I mean, it's obviously not his fault. He's not trying to get
Yeah.
hurt, but like, man.
And Jerron Johnson, I do like this dude. He showed signs of
Oh yeah.
light last year where
glimpse,
he was
yeah.
just going off. So I do like that. Honestly, so far for me with the Saints, I mean, it really just depends what every other team in this division does. But the Saints is definitely the front runners right now, and just these additions alone. Working, it's just they've been in cap hell too, so just making this all work is even crazy for them. So I'm giving this a solid B to maybe B minus. I don't know, B minus.
I agree. B minus is good for me. What you got, Alex?
Probably about B. Also, I do like Derek Carr going there. Like I said before, you know, he's going to a team that has a lot of vets, and I just feel like it's gonna work out a lot better for him here. And their defense is also pretty nasty. So they got a good addition in the interior and in the secondary. So I'm gonna give it a B as well.
And my bad, I forgot to say the last two players. I really don't know them that well, so I really don't have much.
Gray.
Yeah,
know,
but just
Buccaneers, only thing they've done is re-sign Jamel Dean, which is huge.
Yeah, they needed
I
it.
love that
That
for
was a
them.
must for them at this point.
And Baker Mayfield apparently might be going there, so we'll see.
The Bucks have been going heavy in on them, so we'll
but
see
that's
what
it.
happens.
So grading it off that one signing, B plus,
Wait,
because
can
you
I
had to keep
I
Jamel
got a
Dean.
question about it real quick. So, is the Rams starting Matt Stafford next year? Right? They said that.
I'm pretty sure they're going.
So the Bucks should just pick up Baker Mayfield because that's really their best option.
Yeah, definitely. Unless they're just gonna roll with Kyle Trask.
Baker.
B plus, Jamel
yeah.
Dean signing. Arizona Cardinals, Corey Clement, Kelvin Beachum, Kazir White. I like the Kazir White
Yeah.
signing.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing crazy. I'm gonna go C plus. Kelvin Beachum, Kazir White. I like that.
Yeah.
But and the Matt Prater, but they haven't done anything too
I'm
crazy.
gonna go,
Waiting
C
on a
plus
DeAndre
as well.
Hopkins trade.
Yeah.
By the way, just saying.
It's just crazy that the Eagles are just bye defense.
Yeah.
Goodbye. But Kazir White is a great pickup for him. I mean, there was some rumors that Isaiah Simmons was maybe gonna go to the Giants. I don't think it's
Oh,
gonna
dude,
happen.
he is
but
so
dude,
awesome. I would
shout
love
out Kansas boy, Olathe North High School. Dude's a dog.
Yeah, but this is definitely so far from me. I mean, obviously, it's kind of looking like it's just probably going to be a tank season for the Cardinals. Like, if I'm a Cardinals fan right now, I want them to trade down, just get as much assets as you can, because you're probably not going to have that good of a season. Because you're not going. Why would you draft a quarterback? You literally have Kyler Murray you believe in. So, I mean,
Because Kyler Murray's not that guy, huh?
I'm not.
Plus, we don't even know if he'll be ready to start the season next
Yeah.
year.
That's
ACL.
I know, but I feel like the Cardinals are just going to sign someone like Jacoby Brissett or something. Like
Yeah.
that. Like
100%.
yeah. So I mean, but these additions definitely a solid, probably B for me.
Los Angeles Rams.
I don't really know much about this guy, but they got him for Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Hunter Long. They got a 3rd round pick and Hunter Long for Jalen Ramsey. Hunter Long was drafted, I think, like a couple years ago or something, and he hasn't really. Yeah, he's only got like 2 years experience. He's only 24, so maybe he turns into something in LA. You never know. But yeah, I mean, don't know much about him. So based off the compensation alone for Jalen Ramsey, if we're just grading it off that, I'm gonna go with D because I did not expect Jalen Ramsey to go for that low. Honestly,
Yeah,
Yeah, as
definitely.
well.
I'm glad they got draft capital, but I would have loved to have seen them get more.
I literally did make a joke in the group chat after that trade went through, and I was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, just in news, the Rams still have no draft capital." So
San Francisco 49ers get Sam Darnold. They resigned their center and Jake Brindle. Javon Hargrave, that's a nice addition for them at that D tackle spot.
Yep.
Tayshaun Gibson, Tabor Pepper, and then Kevin Givens. So, solid
the
offseason.
Javon Hargrave one is huge.
I love
That's-
that for
yeah,
them.
That is huge. For
And
them.
watch out, mess around with Sam Darnold because he's going to go in Kyle Shanahan's system and it'll look like the next Tom Brady or something. I don't know. That
That'd
just
be
always
crazy.
seems to what
Yeah,
happened.
They're gonna have Trey. Now they're gonna have Trey.
Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, and then
Yeah,
Sam
both
Darnold's
of
going to
them.
get a bag somewhere else if Darnold has to play this season or something. I don't know.
Little,
I can just see it happening, bro, where Darnold looks phenomenal in San Fran.
Little quick trivia: what do Sam Darnold and Trey Lance have in common?
They're both the second overall pick.
Third.
Third.
Yeah.
Third overall picks.
Yeah.
Oh, Trey Lance. No, because Zach Wilson.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
the same. I was
Yeah.
thinking if they went to the same college, but I was like, I don't know. I can't remember what. Didn't Sam Darnold go to
USC.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
that, and then Trey Lance. I can't even
North
remember.
Dakota State.
North
baby.
Dakota State.
Carson Wentz.
Shout out to Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Seattle
Shit.
Seahawks. They got Geno Smith back, and they got Drummond Jones from the Broncos. Love the addition of Drummond Jones. Geno Smith coming back. You had to bring him back based off what he said. Did last year.
I like Geno, man. Like
I like
was-
him, but 3 years is just I don't know. But you kind of have to.
yeah, and when they played the Giants last year, he was dicing us, man. Like he was making throws where I'm like, how did he fit that ball, bro? Like, but, I mean, got his bag, proved that he can play in the NFL. I mean, coming out of West Virginia, he was a high prospect. He was a high prospect.
And his career
so-
never worked out in New
Yeah.
York, and then
Does
just
it ever work out?
when Aaron Rodgers get there, maybe it will. Well, I think that's gonna be. Or I guess that's a B grade for me. Sorry,
I'm gonna go B as well.
Gotta give him the
Yeah,
grade.
well.
Yeah, B for sure.
Well, that's going to wrap it up. Next week, of course, we'll be back to talk some other moves. I assume Aaron Rodgers might be a Jet by then, and maybe Hopkins will be traded. Maybe Lamar Jackson will be a Raven on a 5-year max contract. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
Also, leave in the comments on what you like. What's your guys' teams and how do you like their offseason moves so far? I want to see what you guys think about what your teams have been doing so far.
and stay tuned for Garrett Wilson to be a Raider and Devontae Adams to be a Jet, right, Dustin?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So, all right. Hope you boys enjoy the video. We'll see you all in the next one. This is In The Slant. We're saying peace.